In this video, I'm going to give you absolutely everything you need to know about 7th chords. If you're anything like me, 7th chords were very daunting when I first started playing music. I didn't understand them. I chose to skip them. I would omit them and be like, oh, I'll just play the triad. And when I say 7th chords, maybe you've seen symbols that look like this, and you're just like, oh, I'll just play an A minor chord. I'm not worried about the 7th. I did the same exact thing, and I promise you it is not as bad as it seems. Let's go ahead and break it down, what we're going to be working on. So the different types of 7th chords are the major, the dominant, the minor, the half diminished, and the fully diminished. So the musical alphabet, it just goes to our regular alphabet. We have every single letter as we go, C, D, E, F, G, easy peasy. To make chords like our basic triads, all we're doing is skipping over. And if we were to put a number with each of these, that's what we get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's even add some more context to it. And then, after G, we just keep on going, etc. So all we're doing is adding the 7th note. This is called diatonic because in the key of C, everything's white. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So there's your 7th chord right there. And this works for everything. If I'm in the key of G, G has an F sharp, which I've noted right there. My triad is going to be any collection of a G, B, and D. But then all I do is add the 7th note right here. Now we're going to quickly break down all of the 7th chords that we're going to learn. There's 5 different ones today. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is the C major 7. This is just how they occur in the key. So like we just talked about, it's every skip. We're skipping D, we're skipping F. So our triad, 3 notes, is C, E, G. And then on top of that, we're just going to add the B, which is the 7th. So we have the 1, 3, 5, and the 7. And this is what it looks and sounds like if I took it down to the piano. You can see that we're just skipping C, E, G, B. And if I hold my pedal down and play it, this one sounds like the Stranger Things theme. It's got a really classy feel to it. So see if I just play the triad. Nice, but then this adds a whole nother color to it. Now that phrase I just used, color, is something we as musicians learn. Just imagine like you take red and blue, put them together. We now have purple. So in music, just the C major chord is very strong. It's very static. But just by changing one thing, I just added the 7th in, now it sounds like a totally different color. And you can keep doing that depending on what kind of chords you want to add to it. It's all kinds of different colors you can add. Those are all different variations of 7th chords. I think I played a flat 9 in there. But yeah, there's our 7th chord. And when I move around to different 7 chords, it sounds really classy. You can think like jazz, lots of classical music implements this. Okay, jumping back in. When I go to the dominant chord, we're going to make one change to our 7th chord to give it a dominant function. And if you know much about music theory, you know that that phrase dominant means 5. So whatever key you're playing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is going to be the dominant chord to an F. And if you know F, F has a B flat in it. So all we're doing is playing the same exact chord, C, E, G, B. Don't worry about all the other stuff if that went over your head. All we're doing is making the B flat over here, which you can see right here. I'm just going to circle that we made that one change. So far we have the C major 7 and the C dominant 7. Next we're going to do the same exact thing. And every time we're going to keep what we changed and add something new. For the C minor 7, all we're going to do is make this a minor triad. And we keep everything else the same. So now we have C, E flat, G, B flat, back to the C. And that's the quality of a minor 7th right there. Next, for the half diminished, we're going to change the G. And we're going to make this triad a diminished chord with a minor 7th, which is why it's called half diminished. And then finally, for the fully diminished, we're going to make the diminished or the 7th diminished. So it actually is going to be notated as a B double flat, which look how funny that looks. We take a B, we make it a B flat. Now it's a B double flat. Why would I not just call that A? So the reason we don't call it A is because that would be a C 6th chord. Everything needs to be the 7th. So when I go through my alphabet, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. That's the 7th. A is the 6th. And if you're thinking, that cannot be that important, I can just call it an A, think about it an A. Let me show you a really funny metaphor that my college professor in school showed me. So I'm going to write 2 things that sound the same. I went to a Christian school. Choose Jesus. Good. choose Jesus. They sound the same, but they have a different function in our language. We can choose Jesus or we can choose Jesus. So that's a funny little thing. The notes can be the same, the words can sound the same, but they have very different meanings. And same thing with our chords. We always need to spell them the same way. So here, we just start with a C, E, G, B, and then all we do is flat the 7th, flat the 3rd, flat the 5th, double flat the 7th. And when I put it on the piano, it's going to look something like this. We have our major 7, the dominant 7, the minor 7, the half diminished, the fully diminished. Look at that. All right, here's the exercise I want you to work on. We're going to use all 5 of our fingers. Let me angle this down a little bit. All 5 of our fingers are getting used here, and you can see me if I go right here. We're going to go, I'll do it on this one. We're going to do the C, E, G, B, C, C. And you're just going to play through that major chord. And then we're just going to flatten the 7th, like in our example. Now flatten the 3rd. Now we have the C minor 7. Now flatten the 5th. We have the C half diminished 7. Now flatten the 7th again. We have the C fully diminished. Now music's all about patterns. Look at the power of the pattern. If we're playing the key of D now, let's take all the notes and harmonic for the skips. There's our 7th chord. Notice our 7th is hugged right up against the tonic note. So as I play this, there's my major 7. Our rule for the dominant 7, even though this is in the key of C, it still applies. I just flatten my 7. So now I have a C sharp becomes a C natural. Now to make the minor 7, I flatten my 3rd. Half diminished flattens the 5th. And then fully diminished looks like this. If I went up to E flat, same exact thing. There's my major 7, dominant, minor, half diminished, fully diminished. Go to the next key. Major, dominant, minor, half diminished, fully diminished. Next one. Major, dom, minor, half diminished, fully diminished. Let's do one more just so you can really see this. Major, dominant, minor, half diminished, fully diminished. Let's just take a super basic progression. We're going to go from the C chord to the F chord to the D minor to the G back to the C. What I just played sounds quite nice, but there is nothing spicy added. It's all just the triads. We're not making any other colors. C major triad to the F major triad to the D minor triad to the G back to the C. Now, something that's really cool about the 7th chords is if we're thoughtful, it'll tie these chords into each other. And we call this part writing, 4-part writing, where we want the voices to go smoothly together. So say I'm playing this C chord and I add my 7th, which is a B. My next chord's an F and my C chord is C, E. The E is the 7th of the F chord. So I can use that E and the C, they stay the same to tie my chord together. Look at that. And I'll actually show you. So what I'm saying here is C, E, G, B. That's my C major 7th chord. Now my F chord is an F, A, C, and then E is the 7th. So if I put it down here and just play my C chord, I'm already playing the top part of the F chord. And then just like that. And then to get to my D minor 7, I just change one note. To get to my G dominant 7, I just change 2 notes, and then I'm back to where I started. If that went over your head, that's actually totally okay. What we're talking about right here is a whole new way of thinking. It is a new language. You have to apply it a lot. And then it's really interesting. One day it just clicks and you're like, wait a second, this makes a lot of sense. And you're not really thinking about it. So that kind of, it's nice, but that basic progression I just played, when I add my 7ths the way I just did, and I'll actually kind of comp it a little bit so it sounds nice, it'll be. Let's think about a more creative way to play this. It's an F major 7 chord. I'm just voicing it a little more thoughtfully. Then I can go to the D minor 7. I'm just playing playing notes that belong to the F7. Now I'm back to the D minor 7, to the G dominant 7. I hope this is helpful. Fundamentally, all we need to remember is the C major 7, the dominant, minor, half diminished, fully diminished. That feels like a lot of information, but just break it down, keep it in the key of C, and when you feel good about it, maybe like try it in the key of G, then try it in the key of D, try it in the key of A, etc. If you have any questions, let me know. I love this stuff, and I would love to make more videos about it in the future. Thank you guys so much. Have an incredible day.